I was going to use a mic that I could walk around with, but somehow I got tangled up in my foot, so I'll be hooked to this microphone. So it's great to be here this morning, and if I can find the slides. Is this the slides? Here we are. How's everybody this morning? Here you had a great time last night, and there's been a great conference. Brett, you'll be congratulated on a wonderful time that everybody's had down here. That's what everybody's been telling me. Unfortunately, I was sick over the weekend and couldn't make it, but I'm glad I'm here with you all this morning. Now, you know I'm not a very excitable type guy. However, I am excited about this. On Tuesday, I got an email saying that the district got a $72,000 grant for a special wheelchair to go to Ecuador. It was a collaboration with the Wheelchair Foundation, the Rotary Foundation, and District 7570, 7610, and 7670. So it was a group of us all got together, and I'll talk about that later as we move along. Greetings from South America. Thank you very much for everything you do and everything that you've done for the people in South America. This is just one of our friends we met on a last trip down there, and I thought he sort of said what it was all about. This is a video of our trip down to Guatemala. I take this opportunity to sort of tell people who are not familiar with what we do with our wheelchair project is that we partner with the Wheelchair Foundation out of California. And they're the ones that do a lot of the administrative work for us. They actually go out and order the wheelchairs for us. They arrange for them to be shipped to a port of entry into the country that we're going into. At that point, the Rotarians from that country pick the wheelchairs up on the dock and then take them to the place where we're going to distribute them. So it's an effort, a big effort from all the people, all the Rotarians involved in this project. The thing that takes a big load off of us, of course, is the fact that all we do is we raise the funds, and then the Wheelchair Foundation does a lot of the administration for us. They also do that for our fundraising, which the district treasurer liked very much. And when we give our donation, we give straight to the District 7570 wheelchair project. And the money goes straight in there, and we have enough money for a container. They let us know, and then we decide where we want to have the container delivered. The Wheelchair Foundation also hooks us up with the Rotary clubs in that country. And we only do with Rotary clubs because the Rotarians are dependable. We go down there and we're extending our friendship to the Rotarians who are down there. I always show this picture, because most of you recognize my wife Lori there on the left. She speaks fluent Spanish, so she can talk to the people down there. And just look at the expression in the eyes of that woman who's just received her chair down there. You can't stage something like that. They are appreciative. Most of these people have nothing, and they are so thankful for what we're giving them in the way of the gift of mobility. These are where we've been so far. We've given out 15 containers down there, most of them around 270 wheelchairs each. You see it, the Caribbean and Latin America. You've heard me say this before, but the statistics say there's a need for 100 million wheelchairs in the world. And that's a lot of wheelchairs. And some of you may say, well, how does it make a difference, just a container of 270 wheelchairs when there's such a big demand out there? Well, when you go down there and you talk to these people and you see the smile on their face, you know what that means, how much it means to them. The Wheelchair Foundation has already given out over $1.2 million, and with this last grant we got, we're over 4,000 wheelchairs we've delivered in the past 10 years down to South and Central America. And you all have made it possible. And I take my hat off to everybody that comes down with us. They do a lot of work when they get down. It's not a vacation. And we have a lot of sweat equity when we get down there, especially when we get down to South America. But I was saying that it makes a difference. It makes a difference to these people. It takes a difference one wheelchair at a time. It makes a difference to these people in Jamaica. And these people in Ecuador. Excuse me. When we were in Ecuador, I looked around and it seemed like there was an awful lot, even more handicap down there, more severe handicaps than I'd seen in other places that we've gone. So I talked to the local Rotarians, and I said, what's causing this? Does anybody know? And they said, well, they think it's chemicals that were put on the fields years ago and caused birth defects and all these other debilitating diseases that the people had. So we came back to the States and decided that we would go for a grant from Rotary International. And they have never given money to the wheelchair project, and that's because they say somehow it's not sustainable. But they will give money to specialized wheelchairs. So this money that we got is for specialized wheelchairs. There's only 200 of them in this container because they cost about 3 times as much as the normal wheelchairs. These are some of the diseases that the people are suffering from down there and that we wanted to help with. They have no use of their legs, and in a lot of cases they have no use of their arms either. You put them in a wheelchair and they'll thrash around in the wheelchair. When we went down to Peru, we had one young man got in a wheelchair, he started thrashing around, and the Rotarian grabbed him, kept him from falling, took his belt off, put it around him, strapped him into the chair. That's not ideal, but that kept him from falling on the ground down there. But these are just some of the diseases and some of the kids that are suffering from it. This is the wheelchair that we're getting down there. It's a pediatric wheelchair. Why do we say pediatric? What about the old folks? Well, in these countries, if you have those diseases, you're not going to be an old folk. They die before they get into adulthood. So most of these wheelchairs will be going to kids. Say we have 3 different sizes. When we go down there, we're taking some medical people with us when we go down. Dr. Wood from East Tennessee is going to be giving out half of them down there. And they also have physical therapists and medical people in the country that will be fitting the individuals to each one of the different chairs. And then we're going to track them for a year to see the effects of these chairs on the people and on their support system, their people down there that are helping them. These are some of the chairs, and these are what the chairs will look like when they get down there. In the past, the Rotary Foundation has already thrown in maybe half a dozen of these chairs in there. When we were down in Jamaica, we had 6 chairs, and we had to make a decision. I guess I had to make the decision who was going to be getting these chairs. And I had a mother that came up to me and said, my son needs one of these chairs. Well, he was not quite as sick as the other kids. But how do you tell a mother that her child is not as sick as another child? Well, it all turned out well at the end, and she was happy with one of the regular wheelchairs, which we gave them down there. But being able to take a whole container load of these things down there and help these children is just going to be fantastic for us down there. But this is what they look like, and you see some of the kids that have the maladies that we've been talking about. You've probably seen this slide from me before, and by the way, I continue to say I want to come to every Rotary Club in the district. I've been to most of them now. I still want to come back and see you again and fill you in on what you are doing on the wheelchair project. So invite me back. I'll pester some of the PEs to get me on your schedule, but have slideshow will travel, and I don't mind going anywhere in the district and talking about this project, which has been a fantastic project for the district. As we said, for every person that gets a wheelchair, there are on an average of 6 caregivers, people that help them get to the doctors, get to the grocery store, maybe get dressed, get to the bathroom. And so these containers that we've put out right now, you have touched the lives of 28,000 people. 28,000 people. So that is quite a feat for us down here, and you're to be proud of that. Also, when we get down there, we marry up, as I said, with the Rotarians down there. And these Rotarians do a fantastic job. Some of you heard me tell the story that, if you are outside of the United States, we're unique in the United States. Anybody can be a Rotarian. I mean, in some of these countries, you can pay like $10,000 to become a Rotarian. So in a lot of the underdeveloped countries, the people that are Rotarians are the well-to-do down there. But these group of well-to-do people who are Rotarians have gone out and they want to increase the quality of life of the people in their communities. And so I take my hat off to them because they don't have to do this. But they do, and they put in many hours, they put in a lot of money, their own money, into building these different projects, doing things like this, wheelchairs. We helped put computers and things into community centers in Columbia. And that all came from the wheelchairs when we took them down there. The Rotary Club down there said, we are going to build a community center, and would you help us put the stuff inside? And so the district, during Dick Ray's time, came up with a grant, and we put all the stuff inside the community center. So that just builds on everything that we've done. So the wheelchair project is, yes, we give wheelchairs out, but we also extend friendship to the Rotarians down there. And we also build leaders within Rotary. I guarantee if you go down with us, and I invite everybody to go down with us, when you go down there, you'll be changed. I know everybody says it's a life-changing experience, but it really is. When you pick up a 12-year-old girl out of a hammock, and she has never had any transportation except being carried on somebody's back, and you put her in a wheelchair, that's a life-changing experience, which I have had. I was telling Lori the other day when I was going through all these pictures, so you get down there and you're in the middle of all these handicapped people in that, and you're busy putting people into wheelchairs. It's not until you come back and you look at the pictures, you say, did I really do that? Did we really help these people that much? And that's when the impact really hits you, that this is really a worthwhile project. And I'm glad that you all have seen fit to keep this program going. It was started back during my year. I brought it in from one of the district governors who was in another district, said this is a good project. And you all have just picked it up, and it's been going now for 11 years. And I want to thank you very much for everything that you've done with the program. Thank everybody that's gone, and thank everybody that's going to go on the next one. If you want to go, let me know as soon as you can. I put the word out through the newsletter, and that because it's filling up fast. I remember our first one, we had 4 people that went, and right now to Argentina, I've got about 34 lined up for that, and I can only take about 20, so we're going to have to work on that. But in August, we'll be going down to Ecuador for these special wheelchairs, and it's going to be a special experience for everybody. Our contact down there is very enthusiastic, and it's a great club to be affiliated with. We had a great time last time we went down there. On the tables, I've got a couple brochures that I put down there, and I got the little calling cards down there. All too often, I think people flash things up on the board, says, okay, this is how you can get involved. And of course, you don't have anything to write it down, you remember? So I've made these little business cards up. They even have a QR code on them, where if you want to donate, you just click on the QR code. I have no idea how a QR code works, but it does. In fact, at the printers, I said, make sure it works before you print them. And so that's the way that you can really get involved. But again, I want to say I want you to go with me on one of these trips. You've done a fantastic job over the past 11 years in supporting the program, and I think that you would get a whole lot out of it. You would actually see how Rotary interacts around the world and how the money that you put into Rotary is really used. And I think you would appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.